Not Nerd Podcast, episode 360. Let that sink in.
Welcome to the Not Nerd Podcast. I'm Nate Heath, and we are here to help you tech better. Here with me, as always, Mr. Dave Baylor.
Well, hello there, in my spooky voice.
Yes.
Of course, this is going to be headed to our listeners a few days after, but today is spooky Halloween.
Yes. Did you get any good trick-or-treaters at your house?
Well, there was this weird dude. I don't even know if they had a kid. It was a dude in a hot dog costume.
Hey.
And his wife was in this low budget, like LaCroix. Oh, no, that was you. I forgot.
Oh, yes.
And Isla
yes.
was there, yes, with her little, don't say hamster. It was a guinea pig
Yes.
costume. Although I think it was a hamster costume.
Yes. And she's aware of that. But
Okay.
she embraced the guinea pig. Yeah, we were in the neighborhood doing some trick-or-treating downtown in your city of Sherwood and decided to stop by and surprise you. And you blessed us with chili.
Yeah.
It was great. It was the best trick-or-treat ever. Come in, have some chili.
It was awesome. And we had cinnamon rolls, too, if you want a cinnamon roll.
Yeah.
Some cheese, some hot sauce, whatever you like on your chili. You got Fritos. Fritos
Yes.
are very popular on your chili. So, yes, I'm glad that you stopped by. It was very fun. We had made a bunch of chili for the neighbors. They were like, we might come over, etc. One person and their child did come over. Nobody else came. So we had lots of chili left over. So
Nice. Well, let us get into some technology
okay.
technology talk too, because we've got Followup, and it just happened last week. All of a sudden, now Elon Musk owns Twitter.
Yeah, it just out of nowhere. You were talking about it tonight. He's like, oh yeah, the Dogecoin is up because of the thing. And it's like, did that go through? They've been flip-flopping.
And I had heard, I think it was last week, maybe even before we record the show, that, well, it might go through by Friday. And I was like, oh, I'm not even going to talk about it because this thing's been all over the place for the last 6 months. And it's been on, it's been off. And then it was like Thursday, Elon posted a tweet of a video of him walking into the Twitter headquarters with a sink and said, let that sink in. Because it's Elon Musk and he's got dad jokes.
But not good ones.
Yeah.
That was a bad one.
Yes. But so he officially owns Twitter now. He let the CEO, the CFO, and the director of security. I should know these things better. But three of the top people. Now he was saying in the last couple of weeks, I'm going to let go of 75% of the staff. Apparently they have 7,500 employees.
That seems like a lot, but I mean, if it's a lot of data management people, I could see it running servers and backups of servers and then programmers. And I mean, I was thinking maybe 1,500 people is all you'd need, but whatever.
Yeah. So it was CEO Parag Agrawal.
Excuse you.
Yeah. CFO Ned Siegel. And then also Vijaya Gadi, the head of legal policy, trust, and safety, was also fired. Now, since this happened Friday, it's been all over the place. One of his other first tweets was, the bird is freed. Now, his whole goal in doing this is saying that he wanted it to be a free speech platform, but there's been... it's just like rumors. There was actually the best was all the news stations are out there on Friday, all set up, trying to capture what's going on. And this guy, he was leaving his gym and noticed all the news cameras there. So he went and got another buddy. They got boxes, like moving box things, came out there and pretended to be Twitter engineers that had just been fired. Now... we'll go a little Simpsons on this because they did. The one guy, his last name was Ligma, and the other guy's last name was Johnson. Now, this is a family-friendly show, so I'll let you put those two together. But, this thing has just been like this incredible roller coaster ride. And then, on Friday, people are like, this hasn't changed yet, Elon. You said you were going to change this. And it's like, he's been there for 15 minutes. And then other people are saying, oh, look at this. He's already he's already changed all of this. And he's like, I haven't changed anything yet.
He's like, I haven't even opened the door to the office yet. I'm still in the lobby.
Yeah. So, of course, there's a lot of celebrities saying that they're leaving Twitter forever now.
And they're going to go to Canada like they've been promising for years.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, if only.
And I actually, tonight before we started recording, I saw some tweet and some website is keeping track of all the people that have left Twitter because of Elon Musk, and these 4 high-profile celebrities, and it was like, I think I remember one of them from something. Like one of them, I think was Ted from Bill and Ted. Like not Keanu Reeves,
right?
The other one,
the other guy, the blonde curly guy.
So it is just it's giving giving everyone something to talk about. But we'll see. He paid his $44 billion at $54.20 a share to take it over, and then there's talk about he was trying to fire everybody before they got kind of their November bonuses and all this. But it has been entertaining. But I was saying, half the people think it's a great idea, half think it's bad. And then listener Mike said most people don't even care. And I would guess that most of our listeners don't even participate in Twitter. So it's not really that big of a deal to them. But
you mean they're not following us on Twitter?
Yes.
At Davey B and at Netback?
No, they probably are not. And that is okay if you're not on Twitter. But we'll see. I'm hoping for the best. Twitter wasn't a great place before he took over, so it's not like, I don't know why everybody, like, they don't make a lot of money. I was reading something that, like, on a per user basis, they make the least amount of money of any of the big social networks. So yeah, we'll see what Elon does.
And I think that's one thing that he's going to try to change, is to make money, because he doesn't want his investment to be left there on the table. Sure.
And most importantly, now the big rumor is, and he did a poll on Twitter, that he wants to bring back Vine, the 6-second video service. So maybe everybody's like, hey, do it, make it better than TikTok. Let's go.
I hated that it went away. I was just starting to get into it. And it's like, then everybody copied it. Then they canceled it. It's just like, what's going on over there at Twitter? So I don't think he can do any worse.
Yeah, that's a good point. Some people believe that, but we will see. I did want to give a quick update. There has been a lot of rain this last week, so I have not used the Headlight kit yet. We had one dry day this last week, and just a little teaser. Dave and I and a friend of the show were working on a little project that will be revealed at a later time. That's what we use the non-rainy day. So I will get that Headlight kit done, and I will report back.
Well, I'm just curious why you aren't just using your garage. It doesn't rain in your garage.
You've seen my garage. It's I lovingly call the garages in our neighborhood 3/4 car garages.
Yes.
And we have 2-car garage worth of stuff in there, mostly my tech piles, which someday I'm going to start giving some of that away via the show. So stay tuned for that as well.
Well, you see behind me lots of stuff in my garage that's taken me a week to get this organized, and it's not even organized yet. I didn't show you the other side full of boxes.
Yes. It's a commitment. Garages can get out of hand, especially if you don't need to put a car in there.
Yeah.
Based on your pro tip of the week last week, I was just thinking about it, and I was kind of looking through things on my phone. You were talking about the background app refresh and turning that off to save battery. And I was reminded, I was in there in my settings looking at the battery usage, where it gives you a real detailed breakdown of which apps are using a lot of battery power.
Right.
So you can kind of see if there's anything in there that's kind of skewing anything. So I figured that'd be a little bonus pro tip to build off last week's that I wanted to bring up.
Yeah, and which apps was it, and why was it Instagram and Facebook?
Yes, it wasn't on mine, actually. It was the top one is definitely Pocket Casts, because I'm always listening to podcasts.
Yeah.
And then like a couple of the games, and I think maybe Twitter, because, I had to keep up with Elon.
Sure.
What's going on there. So, And another thing that we neglected to mention, I think last week when we were talking about the new iPad Pros,
Right.
is that there's a new hover feature with the pencil where it actually can detect if the pencil is close to the screen. So it gives you, it's pressure sensitive if you're pressing in, but also above the screen now is a new functionality that they've added. So
we're getting closer and closer to Minority Report.
Yes.
With all of the gestures and movements.
Exactly. Speaking of Apple stuff, so they announced, I think it was back at WWDC in June, the Passkeys, which is kind of this reimagining of getting rid of passwords.
Right.
And PayPal is rolling out support for Passkeys. So it's kind of the big first service that I've seen with this. I went into my PayPal app and it wasn't there yet, so I don't know if I didn't have the latest update or what, but I think Google's on board as far as, Apple, Google, and Microsoft are all on board with this. So it's got the support of the big three software companies or operating system companies by far. I mean, that's probably 99% between Apple, Google, and Microsoft. But now the services and the apps, they have to start rolling it in, and it just kind of uses your Face ID or just knowing you. It's this whole complex thing so that we don't have to have passwords as much. We will have to have them some places, I'm sure.
Yeah, a coworker was lamenting the fact that she had to go through this whole rigmarole to get this password change for this account that we don't use very often. And I said, just wait. This whole passwords are going to go away. So
yes. So it is quarterly results time, and typically I usually link to Jason Snell's 6 Colors, for the Apple quarterly results, because that's kind of the one that we usually talk about. But I was watching This Week in Tech, and one of the guests was Philip Elmer DeWitt at PED30.com, his website, but he does a lot of Apple breakdown and analysis type stuff, and he's been around the tech world for, he's been covering Apple since 1983, including 28 years at Time Magazine. So no reputation at all here for Philip, but
he might know a thing or two.
But he actually had a very interesting chart on his post about the Apple, Alphabet, which is Google's parent company, Amazon, and Meta, with around their quarterly results and the tech share performance. And Apple was the only one that went up after their quarterly announcement.
Yeah, I'm seeing the chart here. It's like, first it was Meta took a big dump, and then Alphabet took a big dump, followed by Meta, followed by Amazon, and then Apple went up just because of the timing.
Yeah.
And you look at Meta/Facebook, and it's almost the entirety of the chart is the amount that it went down.
No, they went down like another 20%. Now, we talked months ago when they did that 50% cut, but they're really not doing too good. And there's been a lot of talk this week about, they're kind of all in on the metaverse, and people are like, okay, well, when's that going to be a thing? Because you're not performing right now.
Yeah, I think the metaverse is Mark Zuckerberg's white whale. And spoiler alert, Moby Dick and his white whale. I think the white whale won. We'll see how it turns out for Facebook and Mark Zuckerberg.
Yeah,
or Meta.
Meta. But yeah, and Amazon was down. They had a lower profit than expected. Alphabet was kind of a little more even, but Apple outperformed and had another good quarter. I think it was, one of those things. It was a best quarter ever, but they missed expectations. It's like, well, the stock market is a mystery.
Well, and thank goodness, because my stock portfolio is in shambles without Apple.
Yes, indeed. Well, my life is in shambles without Dave's Pro Tip of the Week, which I'm actually going to steal this week.
What?
Yes.
I was just about ready to lay in with something brilliant.
Well, we were talking last week. Apple has this new iCloud shared library feature in the newest version of their operating systems. And I've talked about how, like, Chelsea and I have gone through 5 shared albums because you can only have 5,000 photos. And I thought, you know what? Let's just take a quick look. When you have an iPhone or an Apple device, sharing photos, kind of what your options are.
Okay.
And you kind of have to look at it at like different levels of sharing. So let's say you're at a basketball game and you meet somebody sitting next to you, you take a selfie together, and that's probably the only time you're going to ever see each other. Or you get a really cool shot of the game and they say, hey, can you send that to me?
Right.
And you say, sure. Well, if they've got an iPhone, just airdrop it to them.
Sure.
It's quick. It's one thing. It's no record, no phone number exchanges. It's just an easy thing. But let's say a couple photos, or they don't have an iPhone, you can text message it to them, but you have to get their phone number. So those are kind of the two easy ways. You can email them to somebody, but like messages, it downsamples or lowers the quality of the photos, and email, sometimes that's a pain. So within the Photos app, you have a couple different options. Now, Chelsea and I have used shared albums forever. So whenever we have friends or something, we kind of try to start a new shared album with them that we can, every time we do something together, we can all just dump the pictures in there. Well, the other week, Chelsea was trying to set one up with somebody, and it was going to be like a one-time thing. And I was looking to do that. Actually, I was DJing the wedding I DJ'd, and the couple, I took some cool shots, some kind of unique shots throughout the night that I was going to send over to them. Well, I didn't want to create a shared album. I might not ever see them again in my life.
Right.
So I created an album, just a regular old album on my phone, and then you can share a link to that album where they can download the photos. And then most of this stuff is if you have iCloud library turned on where it's backing up your photos. But that way, it's just one link, and I think it gives them 30 days to download the photos. They can save them to wherever they want to. Apple, Android, Linux, Microsoft's Windows 7, whatever they're on. They can save those photos through the web or whatever. So that's an easy way. Now, the shared albums, you have to get... And the biggest problem for us is when we try to start a new shared album, people can't find it. They don't know how it works.
Yeah.
But
I'm subscribed to a shared album that a group of people went on a trip to the Middle East.
Yes.
And I was on the list. I didn't go on the trip, but I knew some of the people.
Yeah.
So it's still in my shared album.
So somebody had that full list, and they add you to the shared album.
Yeah.
But they are really convenient. You know, for Chelsea and I, it's like we go to a lot of things. We take pictures, and then we have friend groups that will go do things, go to a pumpkin patch with them, take a bunch of pictures. We can dump them in that shared album. Everybody has access to them. So now, the new option, the shared library, I tested it out this last week. I don't know, especially, so you go through this kind of setup process. You can only have one of these shared albums, and you can have, I think it's 1 to 5 people that you can add to this.
Well, I was just going to say, you can only have one of this type of shared albums.
Yes.
But you can have the old style albums as well.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So the old shared albums, that stayed the same. The iCloud shared library. Yes. So I might have misspoke on that because it's not confusing at all. The shared library, there is an option where you can automatically share all of your photos. And I don't know who that is for, because the way this shared library works is it changes when you go into your phone and you go into the Photos app. I now have an option because I set this up with Chelsea. I click on the little 3 dots in the upper right. Mm-hmm. I can view both libraries, my personal library, or just the shared library. So if you have that both libraries, you're going to see all of those photos just as part of your regular library. So it is like full on sharing. Now we set it up where it's manual, so you add photos to it. But even that, it just mixes everything in. It's a little...
So even when you turn on your just regular library, those photos are in there too?
If you have both libraries selected. So I keep it on personal library, and then like today we're out trick-or-treating and stuff. So I could go to the shared library, but then I'm going to check something right now because I just put a bunch of albums in the shared library, and I was going to check. So it took those out of my personal library, and they only exist in the shared library now. So I can't see all the photos I took and shared with Chelsea today unless I turned on to see the shared library. So here's my conclusion on the iCloud shared library feature. It is very intrusive, like as far as just like it is attacking your main photo library.
Why can't they ever get this right? It's taken them so long to even offer this thing, and it's complicated.
Yes. And so here's one other distinction between the shared library and the shared albums. The shared library counts against the creator's iCloud storage.
Yeah.
So it takes a chunk of that. I was reading up on the shared albums. Those do not take up your iCloud storage.
Where do they?
They live in their own little magical Apple bubble outside of your iCloud limits. So that is actually maybe a little pro tip a bonus pro tip is if you don't want to pay for iCloud storage, Todd, that you could add photos to a shared album with yourself and they'd be stored in iCloud.
Would that work?
I don't know. I don't know, but don't do that. Just pay $1.99 or $300 a month, whatever I pay to Apple for the Family 1 Plus Mega plan. But yeah, so I just wanted to kind of go through those different options. I don't think the iCloud shared library is for most people. It just seems like, I mean, I don't know. And like we've talked about in the past, it's like if you had I don't know who the automatic would be for, because it's like you take a picture of a funny car at a stoplight or picture of cables or screenshots of a computer screen. Like maybe the problem is that I just take way too many photos to see why this would be.
I kind of feel like that's everybody, though.
Yeah.
I mean, let's say you're an older retired gentleman and you're in Home Depot. Oh, I might want to pick this up. Let's say you're a young woman and you're like, oh, I want to take 900 pictures of my kids.
Yeah.
I mean, across the whole scale.
Let's say you're a father at Fred Meyer's with your daughter and she really wants to buy some toys and you said, oh, we'll take pictures of them to put them on your Amazon wish list. So you have a bunch of toys in your photo album. The automatic sharing, like I just feel like that's going to ruin a lot of marriages if people accidentally turn that on. That's my feeling on it.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I don't think marital infidelity is as widespread as Hollywood would make you believe.
Yes. Yeah. Well, I'm not even saying that. I'm just saying it would be annoying.
Oh.
I wasn't even going there. I was just going that it would overwhelm your photo library. But
if you were going to split up over annoying photo libraries, then it was never meant to be.
Yes, that's true. So Chelsea and I are going to continue trying it out and see if it works. See if we like doing it, and if it, I can see some benefits to kind of how we do our whole photo thing, but it's going to take some getting used to. So,
well, I'll try it out with Val. Yeah. I'm pretty confident that her phone is not even updated to iOS 16 yet.
I had to grab Chelsea's phone and update it to iOS 16.1.
So she has no idea that it even exists.
Yes.
Maybe, you know what? I might test it out with my family iCloud account and my personal iCloud account and see
what you think.
Work out the bugs, yeah.
There you go. Okay, well, enough of that. On to our takes of the week. This one I saw a couple different places. How a Redditor ended up with an industrial-grade Netflix server.
I kind of want one of those.
Yes, yeah. So they got hold of an old Netflix server. They apparently worked at an internet service provider. And what Netflix does is they take these kind of caching servers and gives them to the different ISPs because it helps Netflix not have to transfer as much data, and it helps the ISPs because they've got it locally. So it's this whole caching system.
Yeah. So if Netflix is in Maine and I'm in LA, they're going to put one of these servers in Missouri or something. So it's a little bit closer.
Yeah.
I'm sure they have some in LA too, but it was for illustration purposes.
So, and by the way, the Reddit username is PoisonWaffle3. But the ISP he works at has been offloading old Netflix servers as they upgrade to more modern equipment. So, of course, Reddit jumped right in to help him, figure out what was going. It's an Intel free BSD box, but it's a pretty good spec server. It's a single Xeon E5-2650L V2 processor with 64 gigabytes of RAM, a 10 gigabit Ethernet card. They also found 36 7.2 terabyte hard drives and 6 500 gigabyte solid state drives in the server for a total of 262 terabytes with a T of storage, which is just about what I have sitting on my desk here. But no, that is a ridiculous amount of storage.
I could use that for all of the theatrical plays that I film that always seem to get bigger and bigger every time.
Yes. So he's trying to rework it, and it says he's replacing some noisy fans in one of the failed drives.
Wipe it and put Linux on it.
Yeah, he's going to do a network attached storage type of thing, because it's not like, on first hear of this, you would think, oh, he's got every movie and show that Netflix has. Well, that's not how it works, and I'm sure those files aren't just sitting on there like a downloaded video file or whatever. But it's pretty interesting that
it would be amazing if they were, though.
Yes,
just an MPEG file just sitting there,
ready for you to start playing, plug and play. But it says, statement from Netflix COO Greg Peters: we have 18,000 servers containing our content in 6,000 locations across 175 countries.
Wow.
So that is one reason why Netflix tends to work so well is, 18,000 servers, 6,000 locations around the world. So there's probably at least one in the Portland area, maybe several, one for each ISP in different locations. And it really saves a lot of internet traffic for everybody.
And you can guarantee the one here in the Portland area has the entire series of Portlandia just downloaded and ready to serve up to anybody who wants to watch it.
One solid state drive just filled with Portlandia.
Yeah.
Well, keeping in the streaming services department, Amazon and Google make peace over smart TV competition.
I'll believe it when I see it.
Yes. So the two companies have struck a deal that allows Amazon to work with manufacturers like TCL, which also makes Android TVs. So apparently Google had some sort of license with a lot of these TV makers that they had to use the Google software, but Amazon has been able to break into that agreement so they can also have the Amazon Fire TV operating from those same manufacturers.
Wow. You wouldn't think this would be a big deal, but it's almost like junior high kids are running these companies. It's like, no, it's my ball. Yeah. You can't play with it.
Yes, the licensing terms and the legal departments and all of that. But so hopefully, it just means more competition, and hopefully it means the Fire TVs and the Google TVs will both get better because more people will be making them. Adobe. Weren't we just talking about Adobe Max and their big event last week? So now you're going to have to pay an extra fee on top of their already exorbitant price just to be able to use Pantone colors.
And in 2022, almost 2023, I just have to ask myself, why does Pantone even exist? Do we not have other systems, competing systems? Now, I understand the process, and it's quite boring, but these spot colors, there are specific formulations so that when you go to the printer and you say, I want this spot color XYZ PDQ, they know exactly the right one. It's everything's calibrated. It's the perfect color. But I just feel like technology has gotten so good that do we really need this archaic system anymore? It's like when I go, I'll take a Sherwin-Williams paint color to Home Depot and they will do their magic stuff and they'll give me the exact same paint. I mean, to my eye, it looks the same. And does it really matter that much? Does it really matter?
Yeah, I don't know. And Pantone has been around since the 1950s, and it was originally refining printer inks and the Pantone color matching system. The company naturally asserts ownership of all its 2,161 hues, defending its intellectual property and preventing its unlicensed use.
Yeah, so in this case, it feels like Pantone is the one that's doing this and not Adobe.
Yes. So they have changed it is. So Pantone wants $21 a month for access. And so I think it's going to be $15 a month to be able to use the Pantone colors in Photoshop that you're already paying a bunch of money for every month.
So if I were to suss out what probably has happened, is that Pantone colors have lost favor over the years and they're losing money. And so now they're putting in this restricted process to boost revenue.
Yes.
But I think what it's really going to do is push people away from their platform and be like, we'll just use John Smith's color thing. It cost me $1. And it's the same colors. It's just they're named differently.
Yes.
Because you can't really copyright or patent a color.
No.
I mean, they exist in nature, so.
Yeah. Yes, they do. So there's already at the end of this article, they're talking about ways that you can get around it, and that it's probably just going to, I mean, it seems like it probably will just put Pantone out of business because everybody will stop using them and just figure out other ways.
You know what Adobe needs to do? And now, from the Adobe store, the Adobe Tone color system.
Yes.
For free.
Exactly.
With a million more colors than Pantone. Yeah.
Yes. Well, next up, previous pick of the week and my most used app, Pocket Casts, is going open source. And so they were purchased back in 2018 by NPR, and I didn't really notice any difference. I think I was using it back then. But then they were sold to Automatic. There's two T's in there, and that's why I did that, which is the company that has WordPress and tons of great projects. So they have decided to make it go open source. And I was really excited. We talked about it at the time when Automatic picked up Pocket Casts, and I really love the app, and it seems like they're going in the right direction, going open source instead of saying, hey, we need to charge you $15 a month because we have colors.
So I'm going to look here, and it's free, right? Does it have any in-app purchases?
I think there is an in-app upgrade. I don't remember specifically. I think I maybe pay an annual for like syncing across devices, which I don't use at all. But
so open source doesn't necessarily mean it's going free.
No, it just means the code is going out too. So they do have Pocket Cast Plus, which I believe I pay for, and that is...
It's $9.99 yearly,
yes,
or 99 cents a month.
Yes, but the app does work. The free version works just fine. I just wanted to support them, and I think I'm actually part of their beta program as well, so I get advanced releases.
So you're paying them to test their software.
Exactly. That's how I roll. But yeah, and it's a great cross-platform app. I'll just say again, I pulled it up on the web and I logged in, and there's all my podcasts on the web. You can use it on Android. You can use it on Windows, everything. So it's a good software, and it seems like it's going in a good direction.
What about my Luma 780, wherever it is? My Windows phone.
I do not think it has Windows Phone support, since Windows Phone doesn't have Windows or support anymore.
Well,
either.
they're still out there in the world. People can still make software for them.
Yes. Well, a security and privacy story of the week. We talked a couple months ago about the Los Angeles Unified School District ransomware attack. Well, hackers have leaked 500 gigabytes of data stolen during that attack.
So what type of data are we talking about? Like student records? Like if I got an F, would they be able to find that out?
Dave Baylor got an F. I'm looking to see if they talk specifically about what kind of data is in there, and I don't remember from the previous, but I'm sure it's employee records, student records. Looks like, there we go.
Social security numbers.
Well, TechCrunch has not yet reviewed the full trove of data. The published data also contains confidential information, including contract and legal documents, financial reports containing bank account details, health information including COVID-19 test data, previous conviction reports, and psychological assessments of students. So, yes, some not good data there. So maybe not your F, but how that psych test worked out.
Right. That when they asked me all the questions about all the terrible things I wanted to do to small animals.
Yes, okay. Those ones. And let's cleanse our palate with our bonus odd take of the week. I've got one for you this week, Dave.
Oh boy, I can't wait.
I know how much you love games, and this one can be found at worldsdumbestgame.com.
Now, is the game I made on here? Because I could probably make a really dumb game. World's Dumbest Game. How long can you hold? Is it random every time?
No, it's how long can you hold the button.
Okay, I'm going to push the button in.
And the timer starts, and the game is how long can you hold the button.
Hold on, I'm going to put my coffee on my thing.
I got to 21.2 seconds.
I hacked the system.
Oh.
I have a trackpad and I put my coffee on it.
Nice.
I can hold it indefinitely until my power runs out.
Yes. And then once you release it, does show you some recent high scores and today's high scores. So it says somebody had 52 minutes. Today's top score is 52 minutes, 37.8 seconds.
I'm going to stop mine at 45 seconds. Let's see where I land in the list.
Yes.
Okay, just a few more seconds. Okay, here we are. Oh, it's still going even though I let off.
Now you broke it.
No, I totally broke the thing.
Probably knows you were cheating. And
here it goes. Person named Sex got 52 minutes.
Yeah, that's the top score.
SRR got 33 minutes. So
yeah, but hey, if you really, really need to waste some time, go check out worlddumbestgame.com.
Yeah, I'm going to have to try that.
Yes, and you know what you all need to try are picks of the week.
I don't know if you know about this, but the economy is not doing real good right now.
Huh?
Therefore, and since I had to paint my house,
yeah,
I haven't been buying a lot of stuff. Although I can recommend my painter. It's my pick of the week.
Yes.
He lives out in Gresham, so
Ooh.
It's kind of a long haul.
Yeah.
But anyway, I'm not going to pick him as nice as he is. The pick of this week is not something I purchased. It's something that I consume. And it's not food. It is a YouTube channel. Yes.
Oh, yes.
It's another YouTube channel from Dave. I've shared others before on the tech type nature of YouTube channels that can help everyone tech better. But I think this one can help everybody listen better, perhaps, or at least have some comedy. I don't know why, but I really adore this YouTube channel called RoomieOfficial. ROOMIE. And it's 3 Swedish guys, one main guy named Joel, I believe, with 2 of his friends, August and I wish I could remember their names, but I'm looking at the YouTube channel. So what this is Joel will go through and a producer will put together a list of the top 100 bands of all time or singers who disappeared, singers and their influencers, iconic pop songs versus iconic rock songs. And so they just get music. They play clips and samples. Sometimes it'll be like, here's an original song versus the cover of the song. Which one's better? And anyway, I just think they're hilarious to watch. Also, Joel he's a singer, and he has, you can listen to him on YouTube or whatever. Anyway, I just think it's cool. So if you're into music and you're into comedy and you're into young Swedish men, as I am,
yeah,
it's a trifecta.
Sounds like everybody should go check this out, and I am looking through it, and I think I will. I'm going to hit subscribe.
Yeah, so he got famous. He got notoriety by doing 43 voices, and you can see it's from 5 years ago. It's coming up here. One guy, 43 voices with music, and so he plays 43 songs in the style of the person who's singing. So like Frank Sinatra or other notable singers of the past, yes. Michael Jackson or whatever, and he'll try to sing like him.
Oh, okay.
He does a pretty good job.
Wow. Very interesting. Nice. Well, my pick of the week this week. So we were talking about my whole dilemma over going caseless on my iPhone. I got the little camera protector. More on that later as well. And Dave and my phone. But anyways, that's all working out mostly well. With me, it's working out well. But at the same time that I got my little camera protector thing, I was like, well, what if I wanted to use this case that I have that is not Magsafe? What options do I have? And I found a product called, on the package, it's the Python Trend 1 is the brand name, I guess. And what this is, the Amazon title will give us a much better description, as always. The Adhesive Magnets Ring Sticker for Magsafe Wireless Charging Adapter Rings for Magnetic Phone Grip Holder Case Converter Accessories for iPhone 12, 13, 14 Car Mount Magnet Attachment Black, 2 pieces.
What? You're going to have to give me the Reader's Digest version of that.
So what this is...
You lost me about halfway through.
I took it out of the package. It is some little adhesive Magsafe rings.
Oh, it's adhesive magnets. I could have saved them 30 characters.
In the round style of Magsafe with the little dot thing for aligning it. Now, when I got this and took it out of the package, I go, what? They ripped me off. I ordered a 2-pack. Well, what I realized... when you have 2 magnets that are very thin, they're going to stick together and look like one piece. It is actually 2 pieces.
I'm glad, because it looked like a chunker of a magnet there for a while.
Yeah, so you would get this, and if you had a case that was not Magsafe compatible, you put these on the back, then it would attach to Magsafe. So we were actually talking about this earlier tonight when I was at your house. My wife has a kind of wallet case, so the wallet part's on the back, so it won't work with Magsafe.
Right.
And I got me thinking about this, and it's like, well, maybe if I put this on the back, I don't know if it would charge, but it will at least stick to Magsafe type things, like the shower mount, thing, or anything else you have.
Yeah, I need to buy another one of those. Mine crapped out, so.
Yes. So, Dave, they actually have several different colors. I went for the black because I'm boring like that when it comes to phone accessories. But, Dave, for this 2-pack, what would you pay?
$8.49.
Well, it is actually $11.69.
Dang, why am I always hitting low these days?
I don't know.
I forget that the world went through this crisis and shipping delays and material costs. Everything's up a couple bucks.
Yeah. So $11.69, and you get 2 of them. So yeah, if you have a case that is not Magsafe compatible, or you could even technically use this. We were also talking about this earlier. If you had a phone that was prior to Magsafe, you could put these on there and it would work. And it might even work with just through the regular wireless charging if your phone does have that but doesn't have the Magsafe.
Well, and in fact, my wife has an iPhone XS, which has inductive charging but no Magsafe.
Yeah.
And so we just searched on Amazon for XS Magsafe case.
Oh, okay.
And it's got the integrated magnets in the case. It's a clear case. It snaps on her phone, and it will mount and charge because it's just the thin case between it and the charging puck. So if you have a case you love, your product would stick on the back.
Yes.
But keep in mind, you can also just buy cases that have it integrated into the case.
Phone. Yeah.
And maybe even for Android phones. Who knows?
Yeah, that's true.
I guess you could stick that. Put one of those on your Pixel.
Ooh.
And see if it'll snap.
Genius. And that's got wireless charging.
Yeah.
You are a genius. I'm going to do that so these don't just sit on my shelf forever. So I will do that and report back. But it's, Amazon. There's a lot of products there to solve your problems.
Yeah, for $12 you can have an afternoon's worth of fun.
Yes, indeed. You can pretend your Pixel 3a is a iPhone all day long.
That's what I do anyway.
Yes. Well, with that, I believe it is time to wrap up this episode. Thank you so much for listening. Share it with a friend, share it with a foe, so everyone can get out there and tech better. Getting a little emotional.
You okay there? I mean, we can talk about your wife's phone again if you want to.
Yes.